Hi, this is Angel. You say hi, Angel? Can you say hi? Say hello. Angel turned a year on August 8th. And do the math, she's now 13 months old. Never in my history have I had a puppy past 12 weeks old. Well, I take that back. I did have Aiden Sr. and two of his brothers. They ended up being 6 months old, but that was really in the beginning of the Bush-Obama bad financial times. But um, they found homes. Aiden stayed with my friend Barbara Green and became the love of her life and one of our top champions. Myself and other breeders are, hi baby, finding ourselves in, I'll say, other good breeders or great breeders have found ourselves in positions we never thought we'd be in. And so many of you are as well. This is beyond a doubt the worst economy since I was little, back during Carter. And I was little, and I still remember to this day my parents talking and gas lines and everything else that was going on back then. Really super high interest rates, but not to this extent. This inflation, they keep touting, oh, we're lowering the inflation. Well, it doesn't change the fact that everything has gone up at minimum 20%. Food, clothing, gas. A lot of breeders and a lot of you are having a hard time making ends meet. And we're competing on sites like the American Kennel Club and also Good Dog with mutt breeders. The American Kennel Club was set up to be a format for the purebred dog breeder and for people looking for purebred dogs. Not necessarily the best dogs, because unfortunately not everybody does things right. But a lot of us do. There are a lot of great breeders out there. Good Dog was set up by people like us, from what I'm understanding from somebody that I know that knows two of the people that started it. It was for purebred dog breeders who breed according to the breed standard, who did genetic testing, who give a damn about how these dogs are raised. And now, not only with the American Kennel Club, now these good breeders are fighting for their survival against crap breeders on Good Dog because they've gone to the dark side. They're miniature schnauzers in the United States and in Canada. The only ones that can step into the show ring are salt and pepper, black, and black and silver. And now, Merle miniature schnauzers. There's no such thing. Blue-eyed miniature schnauzers. There's no such thing. Parties were removed from the breed long before I was ever born. Whites were removed from the breed long before I was ever born. Sure, whites still exist in FCI countries, which is every country except for the United States and Canada. But the others, they never even exist. These weird ass colors, chocolates. I don't even know what all they're calling them. AKC's registering because it's all about this. Good Dog, which isn't getting this, is still allowing them to be place ads on their platform. And here are we fighting for our lives. A friend of mine that I've known probably since late 2007, 2008, just informed me last week she's going out of business. She's been breeding miniature schnauzers for I don't know how long, but she was breeding them before I ever met her. She can't do it anymore. She had to give a bunch of teenagers away. How? I know her well. This is going to rip her heart out. I saw an article on Facebook from a friend that I grew up with in high school about a breeder living in a car, probably because they lost everything, with 30 of their chihuahuas, I think it was. They lost everything, and they're living in a car with their dogs. And then, I don't know whether it was Humane Society or whatever, was told about them, and they came and took them all away. And I understand 30 dogs living in a car, but I'm sure it ripped the heart out of those people. Every day I'm wondering how much longer I can survive, as I'm sure you are. How much longer can we survive in this damn economy? But these puppy mills and these backyard breeders who can let puppies go at 6 weeks of age when they've barely been weaned, let alone socialized, they're probably going to survive because of platforms like Good Dog and the American Kennel Club allowing them to list their dogs. AKC, it's all about the money. I understand that. I do. It's all about the money for me too. I have done everything right. I study pedigrees. I do genetic testing. The majority of my dogs are clear from 7 genetic disorders. I have 3, including her mother, that are carriers for persistent Molinarian duct syndrome, but it's a recessive disorder. And so long as they're bred to a male who is not a carrier or a female that's not a carrier, the puppy would never get the disorder. But the vast majority of my dogs are clear from progressive retinal atrophy type B wild type, Mycobacterium avium, that's a fatal genetic disorder, myotonia congenita, which is a neuromuscular disorder, type B1 PRA HIV-EP3, which is the other form of progressive retinal atrophy, Charcot-Marie-Tooth neuropathy, another fatal genetic disorder, common defect, and persistent Molinarian duct syndrome. We spent thousands of dollars on testing dogs, thousands and thousands of dollars. We spend thousands of dollars when we breed outside of our males. Not these people, but they're going to survive. Am I? I've got a friend going out of business who loves doing this. And I know it's going to break her heart. So go get a job. Well, you know what? Back in the early 2000s, my mother was living with me. My mother was fully disabled. My lovely father, who was married to her for 1966, January of 1966, until I think it was May of 2001, that the divorce was finally finalized, and the judge that was a client of his screwed my mother royally. And then he found out a year later he didn't have to keep a completely disabled woman on his health insurance. And then her health went completely downhill. Her workman's comp only paid what they considered was for her workman's comp, even though they left us with hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of bills. Hey, we had to sell our house. We had to spend down the money because she wasn't eligible for Medicaid, which he said go out and get Medicaid for her. And she wasn't eligible for it. All the money had to be gone before the state of Virginia would take over. I had to leave my job because Stafford County, Virginia told me if she fell or got hurt one more time when I was at work and I was doing really well financially, that they would arrest me for elder abuse. And right after all that happened, right before I became homeless, I placed several of my dogs with a woman who was my mentor up in Pennsylvania. And I made a smart aleck remark, "Do you need any help?" And she said, "Yeah." I didn't get paid, but I had a roof over my head. So I took what I had, which was my championship bloodline, and I made a business out of it. And I tried throughout the years, trying to go back to hotel, restaurant, institutional management. I worked in institutional, but I also had worked in restaurants. But at that point in time, they were doing background checks and checking your credit rating. And when you have to take time off, 3.5 years to take care of a disabled parent, your credit rating kind of goes pop. You can't file bankruptcy on student loans. So here I was. I couldn't get jobs. I would get up to the third interview, and they said, "We're going to be doing that background check now." Background check was fine except for the credit rating. So I took what I had and I made a business out of it. And I love this. I've had these dogs in my life since 2 days before my 11th birthday, and I just turned 55. They're my love. And you have to be. Yeah. I'm in love with them from the day they're born. Well, day they're conceived. I'm in fascination and awe. And anybody that does this has to be in fascination and awe and has to love the breed that they're in. And so many breeders, doesn't matter the breed, are all going through this right now. So I'm asking you, I know many of you are in the same boat that I am in, the same boat that most breeders are in. But what I'm asking you is to support the breeders who you've gotten your dogs from. Champion us, help promote us. Forward posts that we do. Because we need to survive, and not the backyard breeders and the puppy millers. The good breeders are really having a hard time. And we need our people to champion us. And even if you haven't bought a dog, but you've liked and followed my page and other breeders' pages, please help them. Help me. Help these good breeders, no matter what the breed is, survive until this economy turns around. I don't need to get into all the wherewithals with regards to inflation and government spending and all that other things business-wise. There are those of you who wouldn't even understand why this is happening. It wasn't simply because of the pandemic. It was simply because government spent way too much money and flooded money throughout the market, causing inflation. This is what's going on. That's why you're having a hard time. That's why every time you go to the grocery store and you come home with a few items and it costs you $100. We're all going through this, and we have to help each other get out of it. So even if you can't Buy a dog right now. Please help promote us. Angel has had $600 removed from her, what I was charging for her when she was a 10-week-old puppy. She deserves a home. She's potty trained. She's crate trained. She's so well behaved. And she's very funny, aren't you? Yes, I am very funny. And I have 3 gorgeous black boys over here. 2 of them could be shown. They don't have to go to show homes. I've reduced their price from what I was charging. And they're clear from massive amount of genetic disorders. Mom is 7. The owner of the sire tested the sire for 4. He's clear from all of those. Help us get by. Because if later on you're looking for somebody who does it right and who supports their puppy people, you help us survive, and you're going to be blessed tenfold with one of our wonderful dogs. Help the purebred dog community survive as best as you can. Just be our champions. That's all I ask. Anyway, my name's Daphne Young, and I'm Statler Miniature Schnauzers. Have a good day.